feet. There's a ton of surface area and it's really spread all out, and there's all these little spaces in between the boxes. Now, let's not forget the front yard, because one of my favorite things out there is the concrete ping pong table. It was starting to cool off, so I spent a little time on the DIY lounge chair that I made, sketching out some new furniture builds. The lounge chair is great, but my favorite place to hang out is actually on the roof. I don't know why. Jesse and I, we always just climb up onto the roof of things. It's like our favorite place to perch and just chill. And when you're out here in the desert and the doors are totally open, it just feels like you're sitting on a bridge to nowhere, which is a metaphor for my life. One of the first things we did on this property was install a 20-foot side opening container that we use to secure materials and the tools that we use to build the house. Containers like this only cost about $5,000, and they're nice, secure ways to provide storage on a job site. And it only cost us $300 to move it. We just slid it right off the trailer and into the front yard of the poop house. If you watch our videos, you'll know why we call it the poop house. And then headed back to the container house to check in on the bus renovation that my friend Mike from Modern Builds is working on. One of my favorite design techniques is to blend the inside with the outside. And I love how as you walk up to this house when both of the doors are open, the landscape just seems to be flowing right through it. And that doesn't just happen in this main container, that also happens in the little 20-foot guest unit as well. Now these doors aren't as big, but we still use parallel glass doors to create a similar effect. This bedroom, like the other one, is situated right up against a nice picture window, but for this one I added curtains on the other side of the bed as well to create this cozy canopy feel. I was trying to balance creating a cozy feel while still providing plenty of light and air. The back door exits out to a private deck. I made a video of this deck as well, and it's got some really cool built-in lights. This house also features a custom skull-shaped pizza oven by my friend Brett from Skull and Spades. Now, a lot of people ask me why I didn't create any sort of covered awnings to create shade. And that isn't a bad idea, but most of the time when we hang outside in Joshua Tree, it's in the afternoons or mornings. So that's when the sun angles are lower, and the way I situated the containers creates shade in between them in this sort of like outdoor patio courtyard type thing. So even though this entire building is less than 720 square feet, there's a ton of surface area and it's really spread all out, and there's all these little spaces in between the boxes. Now, let's not forget the front yard, because one of my favorite things out there is the concrete ping pong table. It was starting to cool off, so I spent a little time on the DIY lounge chair that I made, sketching out some new furniture builds. The lounge chair is great, but my favorite place to hang out is actually on the roof. I don't know why. Jesse and I, we always just climb up onto the roof of things. It's like our favorite place to perch and just chill. And when you're out here in the desert and the doors are totally open, it just feels like you're sitting on a bridge to nowhere, which is a metaphor for my life. This one house is actually comprised of 3 separate cabins all built inside containers. We kept the design pretty minimal and industrial, so they definitely still look like containers. And if I was to do it again, I think I might spend a little more time trying to figure out ways to better integrate utility things like the air conditioner condensers. Windows and doors are one of the most expensive components of any home, so I really wanted to get the most bang for my buck whenever I spent money on glass. So that's why these big accordion doors are also serving as the main front entrance door. Once you enter into the main cabin, you're immediately in the middle of the kitchen, dining, and living room space. A walk-through bathroom with a pocket door separates the kitchen from the bedroom. The bedroom is quite small, but it has plenty of light coming from one window and a glass swing door. In order to keep tiny homes like this from feeling claustrophobic, I like to create multiple entrances to the exterior. With tiny houses, you have to make unconventional floor plan decisions, like using a bathroom to separate the bedroom and living space. So while walking through the bathroom is not ideal, at least it keeps the plumbing all consolidated next to the kitchen. So now that you've seen the main living space, let's look at the floor plans and go over the rest of the design. I'm a morning person anyways, but just having linen curtains on east-facing windows sure reinforces that. I really like how light and airy the bedroom feels, even though it's only about 7 feet wide and 9.5 feet long. My mornings always start with massive amounts of caffeine, and I really like this compact espresso maker. It's super easy to use, it's easy to rinse out and clean, and the espresso is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a little espresso into bed, although I certainly don't want to spill it on all this white bedding. I also like that this ledge could serve as a bookshelf if you're feeling a little bit more aspirational and want to read something other than your phone. Now the entire house is completely heated and cooled by Mitsubishi mini split heat pumps, but today the weather is really nice in Joshua Tree, so I opened up these big gel-twin accordion doors and decided to check my morning emails halfway between inside and out. This is the main design feature of the house. I really like using doors parallel to each other and creating a see-through moment in an otherwise quite small home. Now, accordion doors look great, but they're a little bit more temperamental and not quite as rugged and durable at the same price point as sliding glass doors, so it's a real trade-off between aesthetics and day-to-day practicality. But since this is a vacation home, well, you can see which way I lean. Now, there isn't room for that much furniture inside a container house because it's so narrow, but I did make all the pieces that you see here. And in order to save space and also provide plants, because who doesn't like plants in their home, I made this combination side table and planter for a big cedar leaf bed. We decided to have a little bit of a send-off dinner since this was going to be one of our last nights here. We fired up the grill, made some food, and waited for Mike from Modern Bills to show up, but he was, as usual, very late. I built this grill station with concrete countertops around a stainless steel grill that I got from Home Depot. And even though there's a full kitchen inside, we ended up doing most of the cooking out here. The exterior could probably use some additional outdoor furniture pieces, but it does get so windy here and the sun's so harsh that I don't like putting too much stuff out there because they tend to look pretty beat up after a while. And we always just end up sitting on the edge of the deck anyways. But it's not just any deck. This deck out the front and back of the main unit is made out of solid 6x6 cedar beams. Mike from Modern Bills finally